Hi everyone, welcome back to Eat.Live.Escape. Today we are going to show you how to make our blue cheese, walnut and thyme pull apart puff pastry twirl. This is one of the most loved recipes on our website and we get asked about the technicality of how you make it all the time. It's super simple, it's so delicious, it's great if you're entertaining someone or if you just want to make a great lunch and have it with a side salad. It's really versatile and you can use all different type of ingredients, but today I'm going to focus on the one that's on our website that gets a lot of download and love. So what you will need is just a blue cheese, about sort of 50 to 100 grams. You can put a little bit more if you love cheese or a little bit less if you're not so fond of it. This one we're just using today is just an Italian gorgonzola, really light blue, but you can use a Stilton or whatever suits you. You'll need about 50 grams of walnuts, really roughly chopped. You don't want them to be too smaller pieces. You want them sort of in about quarters if you're looking at a half a walnut kernel. And some fresh thyme. We're really lucky to have a lot of fresh thyme in the garden at the moment here at our headquarters. So we just pick it straight from the garden and use it. It's one of our favorite garden herbs. So easy to grow and it's so versatile. If you take a look at our website, you can see so many different recipes that use thyme. It's probably in our top 3 of herbs to grow and use and eat. So it's a really beautiful day here in Australia, so we're filming outside in the gorgeous sunshine. So yeah, if you hear any outside noises or see Ali, our little puppy, come up, she loves the smell of the cheese, so she'll often want to sort of hop up and say hello. And you won't see, I'm filming it from above just because it's going to be so much easier to show you how to create this recipe rather than filming straight on. So let's get going. So what you need is 2 sheets of puff pastry. We just use a pre-prepared puff pastry square that looks like this, and we find that's really easy to use. You can buy them frozen in most supermarkets and then just unfreeze them. If you want to create your own puff pastry, you obviously can do that as well. It's a lot more laborious to do it that way, but will obviously work out really well. We've had a few questions about what size. We use these ones which are probably about 8 to 9 inches by 8 to 9 inches for each side of the puff pastry square. It's easier than using rectangle. You can definitely use rectangular ones, but for us we just find it a little bit easier to use this size and it's more readily available. What you need to do then, it's really easy. You just grab your blue cheese and you just really scatter it across the puff pastry twirl. You're making 2 of these and then they'll join together to form one twirl, but we'll just show you how to make the one first before we make another one and join them. So again, it's really easy and you can put on as much or as little as you like. If you do put a little bit too much though, it can make it difficult to cut later on. So if you just sort of scatter it so there's a nice amount that every piece will have some blue cheese, but not too much. Grab the walnuts and just scatter them in between. It can be quite rustic. See, some of the nuts are different sizes and it's the beauty of it. It's so simple. Okay, and then just grab some of the thyme and scatter the leaves on top. Now it's a little windy out here today, so here's hoping that the leaves don't all fly away, so we'll put a few extra ones on. But normally you'd probably be cooking this inside. And just a few more. Just gives it a really lovely herby taste, which mixes beautifully with the cheese. Okay, so that's how you prepare the first part of the puff pastry roll. Okay, now once you have added all the ingredients on top, then you just need to roll it, which is really simple. One thing I would say about working with puff pastry, and many of you probably already know this, is that if you leave it too long, because it's got such a high butter content, particularly if you get the extra buttery one, which we really like, it can get more difficult to work with. So once it's at room temperature, if you're using a frozen one, we like to work with it fairly quickly, just because it just makes it a little bit easier on you. Okay, so you just roll it up like that. So you've got like a long log style. And then what you'll be doing is cutting it through the middle and creating the twists. So we'll do that next. Okay, now that you have your long sort of log of the twirl, you just take a sharp knife and you cut it straight down the middle. So it's really simple, so you end up with two halves that look just like that. You can see all of the filling there. What you can sometimes do, particularly if you put a little bit of extra filling in, is just sort of squeeze them together a bit. So when you go to do the twirl, all of the filling won't sort of pop out. You just squeeze them together like that. Okay, so now what you'll do is take each of your halves and you just twist them. So it's really simple. You just twist it around. This is when it's helpful if you have sort of squeezed them together a little bit, just so all the filling sort of doesn't pop out. So you can see it's really pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You just make a single twist like that with one, and you repeat exactly with the other. Till you've got two nice twists. When you're putting the twirl together, which we'll do next, you'll also have you will have repeated this entire step, so you'll end up with 4 twists that you put together to make a larger puff pastry twirl. You can make it with just the 2 twists, which is fine, or just make a smaller one that's probably about this sort of size, maybe 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. But if you do it larger, you're cooking for more people, or you just want to make some and have some extra, or you just want to have it yourself because it's pretty delicious, then you can make them as large as you want. You could use 3 and make a really big one, or 4 and make it as big as your oven will take. So that's all you need to do, and then we'll show you how to assemble it. Okay, so you just need to take a flat baking tray and just put a piece of baking paper on the top of it. We've just tucked ours under today because it's a bit windy and it's taking off like a sail, so you wouldn't need to normally do that. Then you just take your twist and you start to form a coil. Again, you just wrap it in around on itself. It's very simple. So that's the first part of your coil. Then you just take your second twist and slightly join the pastry at the end and then twist it around. And we like to kind of continue to twist a little bit even though you've already twisted it before, just as you go around. That's the second part form. Take your third piece and do the exact same, and again just join them a little bit here so they stay together, and then twist and twist around. And you can see the size of that, so that's with 3 pieces. We're doing the 4 because we use 2 sheets, but if you were going to make it smaller, you could just do one with sort of more like a 4-1 pastry twirl, or you could even go much larger than this depending on the size of your oven. Okay, add that around, and there you have your round coil. So again, you can see how easy it is. The next thing you need to do is just brush it with a little bit of milk. You can use an egg wash if you like, but milk works just as well, just so it becomes nice and golden when it's in the oven. So just brush that over the top. And you don't need to worry too much if some of the joins come apart a little bit, because it's a pull apart anyway. So when it comes out of the oven and you're enjoying it and eating it with friends and family, everyone's just going to pull pieces off anyway. So you don't need to worry about that too much. It's just the looks of it. Okay, so give that a brush. Then just sprinkle with a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of black pepper. And we like to add a few more thyme leaves just on top. Just look pretty when it's baked. Scatter a few more of those around. You know, like I said before, you can use all kinds of things to fill these pull-aparts. You can do a sweet one with some beautiful stewed apples and cinnamon. You could do some like a chocolate, choc chip and raspberry. Bacon, cheddar and olive. We've done one of those which is up on the site. We did that recently. Another tomato-based one. There's just so many things you can do with it. So whatever goes well with pastry, which is, let's face it, most things. Okay, so the pull-apart is now ready for the oven. We bake on 180 Celsius, so about 350 Fahrenheit, in the third top shelf, so about a quarter of the way down. And our oven is gas and it runs quite hot. So we have had a few comments from people saying, oh, mine didn't cook through properly at that time, because you would bake it for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once it's gone golden and you can see that the pastry's cooked through. You might need to adjust that if you have a cooler running oven, or if you're using electric. So just play around with it, but always check it after about 20 minutes, because some of the really hot ovens, it will be ready after that time. Okay, so the pull-apart has just come out of the oven. You can see it's perfect. We baked it for exactly 25 minutes this time and it turned out perfectly. It should be lovely and golden on the edges, and it'll be beautifully gooey with that blue cheese on the inside. You can scatter a little bit of extra thyme on top and sprinkle with salt and pepper. It's really lovely served with just a plain green salad, or you can just serve it as an appetizer with dips and other bits and pieces, or if you're doing a like a grazing board or something. If you want to see more delicious recipes, or see some of our travel and beauty, fashion, lifestyle inspiration, come and say hi to us at Eat.Live.Escape.com. You can find us on Instagram at Eat.Live.Escape. We hope you've loved this video. We hope it's really helped you to work out how to do the pull-apart puff pastry roll. You can get the full recipe at our website as well, and make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.